everyone, and welcome you all to our second episode of our video series under Meta Plus 2.0. My name is Deomi, your host for today. Meta Plus 2.0 is organized by the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Club of the University of Colombo in collaboration with the Leo Club of University of Colombo Faculty of Science, which is being held for the second consecutive year after the successfully accomplished Meta Plus 1.0, which was completed spectacularly on the theme of digital media marketing. However, we will advance this year by illuminating Sri Lankan undergraduates on the theme of research and innovation in tandem with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Meta Plus 2.0 will be completed in 3 phases, where the first phase is comprised of enlightening workshops for undergraduates around the country, and the second phase will be a video series corresponding to the United Nations SDGs. And we will conclude our project with the grandest and final third phase, which will be a competition for all young entrepreneurs in Sri Lanka's national and private universities. I am pleased to inform you that we have completed the first phase of the project successfully. Today, we are going to commence the second video on our video series based on the goal of SDG 8 is to promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all, which is one of the 17 goals established by the United Nations in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. For this, we have a very special guest with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Professor Arundhati Lakupitiya. Professor Arundhati Lakupitiya is a professor in Environmental Science, Department of Zoology and Environmental Sciences, University of Colombo. She obtained the BSc Honours degree in Zoology from the University of Colombo and MSc from the Department of Zoology and Physiology, University of Wyoming, USA, and a PhD in ecology from Colorado State University, USA. She has won multiple teaching and research awards, including the John P. Albogen Meritorious Classroom Teaching Awards by University of Wyoming and the President's Award for Scientific Publication. She joined the University of Colombo in 2012 as a senior lecturer, and she has served as a coordinator for undergraduate and postgraduate courses and programs in environmental science, where she has helped to revise and introduce new curricula. Her teaching style emphasizes student-centered learning through assignment, independent studies, and laboratory research projects. Currently, she is also serving as a director of the Center of Environmental Initiatives of University of Colombo. Without further introduction, I am honored to introduce our esteemed guest speaker today, Professor Arundhati Lakupitiya in Department of Zoology and Environmental Sciences, University of Colombo. Madam, we warmly welcome you for the second video session on Meta Plus 2.0, Phase 2. So, to begin today's episode, as we all know, SDG 8 refers to the 8th goal of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which aims to promote sustained, inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment and decent work for all. So, madam, as my first question, I would like to ask, in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing efforts to promote sustained economic growth and decent work opportunities around the world?
Thank you very much, Hasapaba. First, I want to thank you and the organizers of this event, our students at University of Colombo, for inviting me today. So as you said, this SDG 8 is all about economic growth and having decent work, right? So that means productive, fully productive, decent work for the employees with a secure working environment, with well-protected labor rights and all that, So in implementing something like that, so in what the SDG 8 focuses is implementation of uh, uh, measures or strategies that could promote economic growth that would lead to secure, well-defined, decent work environment for the employees. So there may be a lot of challenges. So when you have a situation like that where you focuses on economic growth and its importance in creating good working environment, well-paid, good, decent working environment, there may be a lot of challenges. So I will talk only about a few today. So one is, so there may be, so under such circumstances, you need to depend on your locally available resources, right? So maybe there's, you might have some ambitious strategies in mind for implementation, but it might not be feasible given the local circumstances. Locally available resources might not be enough, technological know-how might not be enough, and there might not be enough finance for you to implement what you really want to do. So that is one challenge. So you need to find finances and capacity building, technology know-how, and resource availability, everything would be challenging sometimes. And the other thing is, so maybe the decision might have been taken to implement certain strategies to promote economic growth and the consequent decent working environment as planned under the SDG 8, but there might be stakeholders. So in implementation, there are parties who are responsible for implementation. Maybe their interest might be conflicting than the decisions taken. So conflicting interests of the stakeholders and who are going to implement these strategies. So that might be challenging. So you have to overcome any conflicting interests uh, when you compare to what you are going to have in the future for the benefit when you consider this SDG 8. So there may be challenges associated with the local circumstances and challenges associated with the people who are going to implement it. At the same time, the decision makers or politicians, they are the people who are going to make these decisions. So sometimes they might go for easier options than what is the more sustained strategies that would promote economic growth in the country, considering the maximum resource use efficiency depending on the local resources. And also sometimes the governments, they go for more popular strategies than what might be the best for the country. So that's also a kind of a challenge when you consider these things. So I think given the shorter session, I hope that's enough.
Yes, Madam, thank you so much for that brief explanation. Madam, can you provide examples of successful strategies or policies that have been implemented to promote full and productive employment in different regions or industries?
Okay, so kind of strategies or policies that might promote this kind of expectations, right? Economic growth versus decent working environment. So one strategy is to, as I said, depend on the locally available resources and promote an export-oriented economy. So that way, you try to bring money to your country, foreign exchange to your country through the locally available resources, maximum utilization of the locally available resources rather than importing other material to the country. That's something. And also fostering entrepreneurship. That is also important. Promoting entrepreneurship. So that's also associated with locally available resources. You know that there are people who have the capacity to come up with innovative ideas and new inventions. So you give them, you promote them, their ability, their skills. That way they can come up with good ways of innovative ways that could promote economic growth while a good working environment. And also, there may be reasonable wages. You can promote such strategies by having one way actually. One way of having that or promoting it would be having a reasonable wages or incentives for the working people, their employees, and also good insurance schemes for them, securing a safe environment. So that way you would promote successful productive employment under such situations, and also providing the employees with training opportunities, providing opportunity for them to build their capacity and also develop their skills. So providing opportunities for them to develop further through skills development, capacity building, and also securing their livelihoods through good wages, incentives, insurance schemes, and also promoting innovative ideas, entrepreneurship. I think that kind of things are some of the strategies and policies you can have.
Yes, madam. Thank you very much. Madam, what are the key skills and qualifications that employers are looking for in today's job market? And how can we ensure that workers are able to acquire these skills?
Okay, so when it comes to the skills, of course, now independent, the ability to work independently is important. So when you have that, so you should be able to work independently plus in a team. So ability to work collaboratively in a team plus also the ability to work independently in doing certain individual tasks. Both are very important. So you need to have good communication skills so that you can communicate well with your co-workers, and also you need to have that team spirit, and also you need to have a creative thinking, analytical ability, decision-making ability. You need to have good leadership qualities, and so you should be someone who is able to get along with everybody in your working environment. Plus, you need to be a good team player. So in that, you need to have all those skills required. Decision-making ability, leadership qualities, creative thinking, all those things are very important. Effective communication skills, all those are very important. So how can you, what was the next part?
Madam, then how can the workers ensure that they are able to acquire these skills?
Okay, so for that, actually, you need to have some maybe you have to promote their skills. I mean, now sometimes there are providing incentives, and sometimes there are awards for employees that would promote their skills, right? Maybe the best employee of the month, employee of the week, like that. So that would promote their skills, right? And also at the same time, giving them the exposure to new development in the field, and exposure to innovative ideas and trainings. You should allow them to have good training, maybe locally or abroad. It doesn't matter. So that kind of opportunities would, of course, help them promote themselves in achieving those targets.
Thank you very much, madam. So let's move on to the next question, madam, that you are very experienced. So, in your experience, what are the most effective ways to promote entrepreneurship and create new job opportunities?
The most effective way to promote entrepreneurship is to accept it. You have to promote a culture where entrepreneurship is well recognized and accepted, right? So through even media like TV channels and even social media, you should promote entrepreneurship. And even this morning, I was watching, I don't remember the exact channel, there was a program where they were promoting, it was so there are TV programs that talk about young entrepreneurs now, which is very important. That means so you bring them out and you give them some recognition, and even people would realize the importance of their work. So that kind of programs would promote, so that it naturally creates the culture within the country that would promote entrepreneurship, and or even social media. So both the media and social media, and so that would promote the culture that we want to have in fostering entrepreneurship, and also by giving training opportunities for such people, exposing them to the newest development in the field, and providing them with training opportunities, and also financial needs are there. So when you promote entrepreneurship, maybe the government should provide the access to finances for such young entrepreneurs especially, and also promote opportunities for collaborating, networking. So there may be similar type of entrepreneurs that would like to exchange ideas, and also providing opportunities for them to networking, collaborating, and all that. So that will promote entrepreneurship.
Thank you, madam. So this is our last question. Madam, can you provide examples of successful partnerships between governments, businesses, and civil society organizations to promote sustainable economic growth and decent work opportunities?
Okay, so that's very important. Having these partnerships between government and the other respective stakeholder parties you mentioned, it's very important. It should be a reality most of the time, because uh, sometimes it does not properly work. So there should be some even good policy framework that would promote such kind of uh, action, or such collaborative work with government and the private sector, businesses, and civil society. So one example, when I think about towards late 1990s also, forest department. So now it has been always the target to increase our forest cover. So community participation or social forestry has been recognized in that respect. So there was something called farmers' wood lots, where the forest department would give these wood lots, so degraded forest land, some acreage for the farmers, for them to develop forest plantations for a 25-year lease or so. So that will promote them to uh, have this sustainable plantation, at the end of which they can earn some money by selling this timber. So it will give them some income, plus also it has this government intervention, and so it's like a good partnership between the civil society and the government. So that's one example, social forestry. And also another kind of example, I would think now fair trade, where you promote, again, it's related to agriculture. So agricultural products which are sustainably produced, mostly through organic agriculture, and these products, so farmers are allowed to gain their production through good practices in fair trade, plus also in the export market, they can earn some premium quality. Those would be some premium quality. Their products will lead to some premium quality earnings in the international market, and even in the local market, they can earn some money. And the government has recognized that kind of activities, fair trade, and I know even now recently there was some kind of collaboration between the government, some certain government organizations and the fair trade teams, local local teams and the fair trade international. So collaboratively, the opportunity would be provided for our farmers to sell their products and we have this fair trade label, which will benefit them in their future as farmers. So that kind of things are some of the examples. And also, when you consider the civil society organizations, I think most of the time they do voluntary work. So to support government work, for instance, in COVID-19 situation or even floods and disasters, sometimes the civil society organizations, they do voluntary work, voluntarily support the government for achieving the government efforts. So those are also kind of partnerships, I would say.
Thank you so much, madam. So as an ending note, madam, I would like to ask you that what advice do you have for our listeners? What are the who are doing their researches on these topics as this phase 3? And
okay, so as an advice, so as my concluding note, I would like to say, as you all know, sustainable development goals, they are very important. They are targeting a sustainable future for not for only us, but for our future generations. So by 2030, we are supposed to reach these targets, goals, SDGs, goals and associated targets. For instance, SDG 8 has 12 targets, as you all know. So starting from economic growth to good employment opportunities to youth as the last one. So there are all these targets. They try to ensure a better future for the planet, right? So we have to consider we have already destroyed our planet. We have already destroyed our natural resources. So try to get the maximum benefit out of locally available resources. Conserve them. As you all know, even part of SDG 8 has the resource efficiency in resource consumption and production. So we have to consider all these things in our economic growth, not only the economic growth per se, but as you know, sustainability includes both the society and environment as other important pillars. So we need to make sure when we gain economic growth, we have to consider both environmental aspects and social aspects. So I would say, I would consider, I will give you one example now, this plastic use. We have had so many regulations, but it has been going on. So that's another challenge. So you asked challenges for economic growth and decent working environment, right? So although there may be some good decisions taken, regulations, maybe there are stakeholders who are involved, they don't want to change. So people's attitudes matter. So your attitudes have to be for the benefit of the society, for the benefit of the environment, and those should come first than your personal goals, I think.
I think it's a great advice, not for the researchers, but all the listeners, all the undergraduates, all of the people in the world. So thank you, madam.
Thank you very
It
much.
was indeed a very informative video session. Let me take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of the organizing committee for gracing the occasion. We are indeed humbled by your presence here today for spending your valuable time with the betterment of the earnest youth of Sri Lanka. And I truly believe your words made an immensely positive impact on all of us. Let me also express my gratitude to the Career Guidance Unit of the University of Colombo Faculty of Science for providing consistent guidance throughout. And thank you to everyone for being a part of this wonderful occasion. We shall meet again for another video session soon on SDG 9, refers to the ninth goal of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which aims to promote sustainable industrialization, innovation, and infrastructure development for inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Also, do remember to connect with our social media platforms for further details. Again, thank you very much, madam, and have a great day.